Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching first of all. To those of you who are already subscribed to my channel, to those of you who are new here, hello, I am Rux and I do astrology videos, FYI. Without further ado, let us jump straight into what you're interested in finding out. Or you might know this all already, but it never hurts to recap, does it? So today we're going to talk about the worst traits of each zodiac sign. Quick disclaimer, this is not a hate video because I don't do hate videos. We all have our good and our bad sides, and we all have characteristics that can work in our favor and against us at times, but I will pick and choose some things that more often than not work against us, and they don't benefit us at all, and they can even hurt ourselves and people around us. So now, Aries, my dear Aries friends, if I were to pick one thing that characterizes you and that is the worst possible trait that you could have, that would be impatience. You guys are so impatient that you jump from one thing to another and you end up not seeing through any of the things that you kick off. You are so impatient that you put so much pressure on people around you because you can't wait for anyone ever to do anything. You just keep on tapping your foot, and because you are so quick and swift and on the ball, you expect everyone else to be the same. And guess what? Not everyone else is an Aries. Because you're so impatient, you might end up hurting people's feelings around you. You might end up hurting the feelings of the people that you love, or of the people that you work with. And you know what they say, good things come to people who wait. So I'm not saying lose all that impatience that defines you, because without impatience there would probably be less projects initiated by the entrepreneurial Aries, but sometimes it does pay to wait, because you might be wrong about things to start with. Things might go in a different direction that you envisage them to go, and because things don't go as quickly as you want them to go, that doesn't mean that something good won't come out of it. Moving on to my dear friends, the Taurians. So Taurus, if I were to pick one thing that I find to be your worst characteristic, it would have to be your resistance to change. This is a double-edged sword, obviously. You guys are one of the most stable signs of the zodiac. You guys are like the rock. If I'm not mistaken, the rock is actually a Taurus. I'll have to check that. But you guys are like rocks, and if there's one thing that you dread, that is having to change. You are fine with the status quo. You are fine with the way things are happening right now. You are fine with the way the game is played. But life is not like that. The only thing certain in life is change, and because you tend to get stuck into things, it's very hard for you to readapt and readjust to a different situation, to a different set of requirements, and this obviously ends up working in your disadvantage, because you might be like the right person at the right time, but if you fail to acknowledge that just because you're afraid to change things, just for the sake of stability and continuity, you're going to end up being in the same place for a very long periods of time in your life, and stagnation is the enemy of progress, and we all want to progress, don't we? So, my dear Taurian friends, don't be afraid of change, embrace it. I know you're going to say, that is impossible, we hate change. But hey, just give it a shot. Geminis. Oh my god, what is your worst trait ever? Well, you know me, I have this special relationship with you, and we're friends and all. but it would have to be your fickleness. You are at times so chaotic and so all over the place, and you find it hard to concentrate on just one thing because you want to have your fingers stuck in 100 different jars at the same time, and you lose interest very quickly, and you get bored so quickly, and you are so fickle, and one day you want one thing, and the next day you want a completely different thing, and it's still you who wants all those different things at the same time, but it's as if you don't recognize the you that you were yesterday, and you can only relate to the you that you are today. I know it's hard, but try to stick to the things that you choose to start with. Stick with something. Don't jump onto the next thing just because you got bored with what you're doing right now. Don't try to do 100 different things at the same time, because even though you are the most multifunctional sign of the zodiac, it's still going to be hard for you to do one thing properly. So that's it. Be a little bit more focused and consistent, if I may say. Quick disclaimer, guys, I have to throw this in right now. You've probably realized by now that I enjoy very much advising people as to how they should be and what they should do. You obviously do not have to take any of my advice, any of my pieces of advice for anything. It's just me being me, I suppose. I love giving advice, but not to myself. I hate giving advice to myself because I know what I should be doing, but I end up doing the opposite thing, and then I'm like, I told you so in my head. So yeah, that's just me talking to me. Let's move on to Cancer. My dear Cancerian friends, my brethren, my sisters out there, what's your worst trait ever in this world? Well, I can think of a few really bad things about you guys and myself at the same time, but if I were to choose one thing, it would probably be the tendency to take everything personally. Everything. Every single thing that people say, every single thing that people do. And not only do you take it personally, you take it to heart, and you get hurt. And you mull over things, and you overanalyze whatever someone did, and it hurts your feelings, and you tend to wallow in that feeling of sadness and depression, and you get all moody, and no one understands what the hell is wrong with you. So you get very easily hurt. That's because, yeah, we guys are very, very sensitive, and we tend to pick up people's intentions and emotions and all that. But sometimes you just have to stay oblivious to whatever vibes you're getting from someone, and just don't take things personally, because it's not about you, and you know that. It's about what people are going through in their lives. It's about who they are. It's not about them being against you or them having something, I don't know, against you in general. There's nothing wrong with you. So stop picking up things that have nothing to do with you. So yeah, that would be it, my dear Cancerian, sensitive, oh so watery friends. Leo, what is the worst thing about you, my dear Leo? My partner in crime, because hey, I'm an Aquarius and Leo is my opposite sign. Well, it has to be your ego. Your ego is, again, a double-edged sword. You are the most confident sign of the zodiac because of your ego, because you think you're so great, you do great things. The other side of it is because you think you're so great, and because you've got this huge ego, you cannot stand someone telling you off. You cannot stand someone pointing out to you a thing that you might have done wrong. You cannot stand reproaches. You don't take negative feedback well at all. It simply devastates you. And it makes you think you're a little bit like a Cancerian in that way. It hurts you so much. and you just want to be liked and applauded by everyone, and most of the times you are, because you are really great. But your ego can work against you. It can stand in the way of you progressing, because you don't accept negative feedback, you don't accept critiques from other people, and you tend to get very, very upset and not look at the constructive side of things whenever someone tells you off, or whenever someone comes back with you and tells you that you've done a less than stellar job in any sort of field whatsoever. So dial that ego down, be humble, my dear Leo. I know you will never be able to do that. Humble challenge. Virgos, what is your worst trait, my dear Virgos? So if I were to pick one thing, and one thing only, it's your tendency to get lost in the details, to get stuck in the details. I know you guys are the perfectionists of the Zodiac, and the devil is in the details, and it's your job to look after all these things, but the way this can work against you is because you get stuck in all these details and all these little things. You might find yourself working on these tiny tweaks all the time and losing sight of the bigger picture. And when you lose sight of the bigger picture, you cannot move forward with anything, really. Or you may keep yourself busy on purpose with the little things and the details because you don't want to look at the bigger picture, because that would involve you working a lot harder and putting in a lot more effort, and you might be very scared of doing that because you think you're not good enough yet. You are good enough. You do not have to be the expert of experts in the world, although I know that's probably what you would like to become. You are ready, Virgo. Stop tweaking and start progressing. I don't know why I keep on talking about progress today. It's just, yeah, it's on my mind a lot. Libras. Hey guys. It's very hard to find a negative trait in you, but if I were to pick something, because everything has got like a double-edged sword sense to it, it would be your tendency to, and your attempts to please everyone all the time. Because you try to please everyone all the time, you are being so big, such diplomatic creatures that you end up not pleasing anyone completely, and you might end up actually pissing off quite a few people. Being diplomatic means not picking sides, and sometimes in life you do have to pick sides. You can't always be in the middle. You can't always be the mediator. You can't always try to smooth conflicts over. You have to choose a side, because sometimes it's all down to good and bad. Yeah, that's my advice to you, Libra. Scorpios. Oh gosh, guys, no matter what I say now, please don't use it against me in the future. So, your worst traits, gosh, what would that be? I don't know. I think it would be the fact that you are very skeptical of revealing who you really are to people, of letting people see inside of you, because you don't let people see inside of you until they've like gained your trust and all that, and that takes years. You can be very easily hurt because you are very receptive to other people's like vibes and emotions and all that. You pick it all up because you're a water sign, and people don't know what you're really about because you keep it all to yourself. But then you actually get hurt and you take things personally from people who had no idea that some of the things that they did or they said would hurt you. So it's actually there's a huge contrast in this and a huge paradox in this situation, because if you don't want people to hurt you, you have to be like open to them and say, listen, I'm not about that and not about this. But if you're not open, then obviously you're gonna get hurt by people because they don't know your triggers. So Be more open, I suppose. I know, it's practically impossible. Sagittarius, what is your worst trait ever? Guys, you guys are so lucky that, I don't know, I just feel like you can get away with everything, pretty much. I think it would have to be the fact that you can't stay committed to something for too long. Because you're the adventurers of the Zodiac, and you always want to explore, and expand your horizons, and meet all these new people and see all these different places, and you always get like itchy feet, and it feels like for you that you need to move from one thing to another. So it's very hard for you to stay committed to something in the long run. That tendency of yours tends to dial down once you get a little bit older, but not for all people, And sometimes commitment does bring the biggest satisfactions in life, so you should try it and let me know how it goes. Capricorns, what is your worst trait ever in this life? Well, I'm gonna pick one, because I could pick many more. Sorry, that's a car outside. But I could do the same thing for any other sign, basically. But I'm gonna pick the single worst trait that characterizes you. It's all the pressure that you put on yourself. It is all the pressure that you put on yourself in your head, and all the weight that you feel on your shoulders to be an achiever, to reach this like incredibly high social status, to never fail, never fail. So you guys are more scared of failure than anyone else. So Capricorns, where were we? Apologies for that. I had just run out of battery. Going back to Capricorn, all this pressure that you put on yourself is making you so scared of things, and it's making you so paranoid of failure that you actually end up not using your full potential. You're so cautious in doing things because you want to make sure that you don't fail. It's so hard for you to take risks because, again, risks might lead to failure, that you can end up not reaching that social status that you're dreaming of, and that very high position in society that you are yearning for, simply because you're holding yourself back too much. So don't be afraid to take some risks. Don't be afraid to fail. I know this sounds like a motivational speech or something, but you have to understand that failure is inherent, and failure can happen to anyone, no matter how cautious they are, no matter how many safety precautions they take. And there's no point in you holding yourself back just because of fear, and because things might go wrong. It might not have anything to do with you. You define yourself so much through your social status and your achievements that if someone would strip those away from you, you would go crazy. Let me remind you of one thing. You are not your job. You are not your clothes. You are, oh my God. I've watched Fight Club so many years ago. But you get what I'm saying. You are much more than just what you do and the things you achieved. Remember that. My Aquarian friends, hello to you. So, I'm going to pick the trait that I find to be the most annoying about us and the worst of it, but feel free to contradict me, and obviously that goes for any other sign. If I were to pick one single trait that is the worst of them all, I would have to say it's our stubbornness. And you're gonna get back to me and say, who, us, stubborn? Never, no, we are the most open-minded people out there. We are gonna embrace everyone and everything, and we're so tolerant, and we believe in everything, and we believe in freedom and independence. But actually, what we believe the most in is our way of doing things. It's our way of thinking, our mentality, the way we act upon things. We are so stubborn about our ways and we sometimes try to impose our views so much on other people, and we're so oblivious to their own situation that we can become borderline dictators or simply authoritarians. And we have to remember that it's not all about us, it's not all about how we see things. I know we might be visionaries and all that, and we are forward facing and future facing and progress oriented, but actually life is much more complicated than that. So sometimes we are so stubborn that we may come across as assholes. Gosh, I can't believe I said that. Let me know what you think. And last but not least, my Pisces friends. You guys are so lovely, so adorable, and I hate to say something bad about you, but I will say it nevertheless, because I've said all these bad things about all these other people and signs. What's your worst trait ever? It is your inertia, your passivity, and your utter laziness. You are by definition the most passive sign of the zodiac, unless you've got planets in more fiery signs such as Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. You find it very hard to start things. You find it very hard to motivate yourselves. You can be literally lazy, and like I said, if you don't receive like an impulse from planets and fire signs, you can simply wait for life to happen to you for the rest of your life. So, like I said, motivation is what gets you out there. You guys have such incredible hearts. You are so generous. You are like such a pleasure to be around, but you have to put yourself out into the world, and you have to force yourselves to do things, although they might seem pointless, because everything is pointless in life and we are all gonna die and we might as well merge with the universe. You know as much as I do that life is not just about merging with the universe when we die, so we can't just wait in our homes, in our beds, for things to happen to us and then we die. Put yourselves out there, my dear Piscean friends. It's your time. It's all of our time. What am I saying? Guys, I am very curious to find out what traits you think are the worst that characterize each zodiac sign, because obviously I'm a human being and that makes me subjective, so I see things from my perspective. So I'm very curious to see what you think about all of this. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can hit it now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, obviously. Bye!